violent jolt from a car outside immediately drew the attention of everyone inside the house. They all rushed out to see what was happening. Jack hurried forward to check, but something terrifying had happened. Strangely, the scene fell into complete silence. Just as Jack tried to explain, a bodyguard's bullet pierced straight through the forehead of a white horse. People gathered around and began discussing this strange creature. But this was not the first death of this white horse. No one anticipated that this accident would awaken a vengeance born from ancient bloodlines. The unicorn's furious parents were crossing the jungle, using supernatural powers to tear apart everyone connected to the event. Jack, accompanied by his daughter Laura, was on his way to the remote mountain estate of the pharmaceutical giant, the Leopont family. Along the road, they encountered multiple monsters. Their headphones suddenly emitted a sharp static noise, and their phones completely lost signal. As the appointment time approached, Jack had no choice but to slam the gas pedal. At that moment, Jack's old illness returned. Snapping back to reality, he quickly checked on Laura. Seeing she was okay, he glanced in the rearview mirror. There, on the road behind them, lay a white horse. Laura turned to look too. To see if it was still alive, the two of them carefully got out of the car. In the distance, they could hear the pained cries of the creature. It wasn't an ordinary white horse. It had a spiral horn on its forehead. It was clearly a unicorn. The unicorn, barely alive, struggled as a strange light glowed from its horn. Laura, drawn by a mysterious force, reached out with her right hand toward the horn. The moment she touched it, she was transported into another world. A vast galaxy unfolded before her eyes, with radiant stars swirling around her. Her eyes sparkled with light as she immersed herself in the experience. Every cell in her body filled with joy and wonder. The beginning of an unbelievable journey for the father and daughter. Not long after, Jack drove into the lavish estate. The entire surrounding mountain area had been donated by the Leopont family, who controlled the world's largest pharmaceutical empire. They monopolized the market for overpriced medications and dictated treatment plans for diseases. But Laura mockingly called them vampires who profited from human suffering, claiming their charity was nothing but a PR move. Jack, on the other hand, was more practical. He hoped to win the family's favor and become an agent for their empire, a secure future for his daughter after the recent loss of her mother. Outside, the car remained parked, hiding the unicorn's body inside. Inside the mansion, they first met the family's heir Elliot, then his mother Demi, and finally an old man with cancer, Odell, the family's patriarch. During their conversation, Elliot pointed out something on Laura's face. Still dazed from her earlier encounter, she hurried to the guest room to wash her face. Shockingly, the acne on her skin visibly disappeared. Her body grew warm and her breathing intensified. At the same time, the unicorn's horn in the car began glowing again. Laura rushed to find her father. Elliot, focused on the agency deal, calmed his daughter, urging her not to overthink. He promised to bury the unicorn quietly after everyone went to bed. No one else would know. Suddenly, a noise came from outside, and the car's strange activity intensified, leading to the opening scene once again. Jack explained that they accidentally hit the unicorn on the road, and its blood had splashed on their faces. He then realized Laura's acne had vanished. Even more incredible, his allergic rhinitis was cured. The wealthy patriarch was stunned. When the chef suggested calling the police, he was immediately interrupted. It was just an accident, no need to complicate things. But the billionaire was already plotting his next move. As night fell, Laura opened her laptop and researched unicorns. She discovered 7 tapestries featuring warnings. Hunters who tried to kill unicorns met cruel revenge. Alarmed, she shut her computer. Outside the window, the night sky glowed with eerie light. That night, Laura had a nightmare. 2 unicorns charging through the jungle, heading straight for her. She woke to find 2 mysterious women in her room and scientists conducting a full examination of the dead unicorn. Although the lab equipment was limited, they confirmed it was no ordinary horse. Early analysis showed its horn was emitting bioelectric signals and repairing damaged nerve cells, a highly unusual phenomenon. The professor took powder from the horn, believing it might enhance human blood. The billionaire boldly volunteered to test its healing powers. Doctors extracted powder from the unicorn's horn, heated and mixed it with liquid, and injected it into the billionaire's bloodstream while monitoring his vital signs. Meanwhile, strange things continued to happen around the unicorn's body. Outside, Laura wandered into the forest and discovered a large tree carved with mysterious symbols. Suddenly, she heard a creature's call nearby and fled in terror. The billionaire thanked Jack for this miraculous gift and declared Jack would get the agency deal. As Jack expressed gratitude, the billionaire fell asleep. Back in her room, Laura continued studying the tapestries. Moments later, a miracle happened. The previously unconscious old man now stood in the center of the living room, glowing with health. He had abandoned his wheelchair and cane. Everyone was shocked. The doctors ran blood tests and found the unicorn powder had astonishing healing properties, capable of curing human diseases. It was a once-in-a-century medical breakthrough. As a pharma titan, the billionaire immediately planned to replicate the horn's material and develop new drugs. But the professor warned, the substance might not be reproducible. The only available material was what they had. While supply was tiny, demand would be huge, an opportunity for immense wealth. Only Laura sensed something was off. The glowing sky seemed to approach. The chef opened the door. Doctors vacuum-packed the unicorn and began transporting it for research. Suddenly, strange sounds echoed nearby. Jack went to investigate the tunnel, only to see the professor stabbed through the chest by a horn. In moments, he was dead. Outside the tunnel, the sounds of monsters were loud and clear. Laura hid in the car as the unicorn violently rammed it. She slipped out the other side and hid with Jack on the roof. But young Carla wasn't so lucky. A unicorn grabbed her and crushed her skull. Laura seized the moment, escaped from under the car, and ran toward the mansion. The unicorn followed, but Laura made it inside just in time. It stood outside, pushing at the door, then paused. It looked directly at Laura and slowly extended its glowing horn. Laura sensed no hostility and reached out to it. Suddenly, gunfire rang out. A bodyguard shot the unicorn, driving it away. Back inside, Laura told the others she felt a connection to the unicorn since touching its horn. That might be why it didn't attack her. But no one believed her. Instead, they prepared to hunt the unicorn and extract more material for medicine. Jack and the billionaire led the team, using blood traces and radiation detectors to track it. They finally found it, its horn glowing like a beacon in the darkness. They didn't realize the unicorn was healing itself. Inside the mansion, Elliot grew obsessed with the horn. He ordered the female doctor to saw it off. As she started cutting, the horn glowed brightly. She still finished the job. Predictably, disaster struck. A male unicorn suddenly appeared, snatched a bodyguard, and vanished. Chaos followed. Hoofbeats echoed everywhere. The billionaire fired wildly, but danger loomed. Jack used thermal imaging to spot the unicorns. They moved with terrifying speed, killing 2 bodyguards. Jack helped the billionaire retreat. As they tried to shut the door, a unicorn chased them, blocking the entrance with its horn. Everyone came outside. The billionaire was surrounded by 2 unicorns, but they didn't attack. He assumed it was the unicorn blood in him. Slowly, he reached out to touch them. One lowered its head and lit up its horn, then suddenly impaled him. He died instantly. The rest ran inside. With no cell signal, they decided to return the baby unicorn's body, but secretly kept the horn in a storage tank. As they pushed the baby unicorn outside, one unicorn roared in anger. The doctor backed away, trying to apologize on behalf of humanity. But seeing the dead baby, the unicorns went into a rage. They attacked the doctor. Everyone else fled inside. The unicorns launched a full assault. The remaining 4 ran for their lives, hiding through the house. The unicorns hunted them without mercy. Elliot and Dami hid in different rooms. When they stopped hearing hoofbeats, Dami leaned on a shelf to listen, and was killed brutally, just like in the tapestries. Elliot, in shock, became a coward. Meanwhile, Jack brought the broken horn and told Laura to flee. He stayed behind to distract the unicorns. Outside, Laura was intercepted by Elliot, who now believed she was the key. According to the tapestries, only a pure girl could tame the unicorn. Elliot thought Laura was the one. Elliot held a bow, hiding behind the baby unicorn, and threatened Laura to lure the unicorn. As expected, the unicorn approached. It didn't attack. Instead, it lay down and fell asleep beside Laura. Elliot tied it up. Jack returned with another unicorn. Seeing Laura, this one also lay down peacefully. Elliot began mumbling nonsense. Suddenly, Laura stabbed her with the broken horn. In a struggle, both were injured. The tied-up unicorn awoke. Jack was badly hurt and couldn't move. Elliot tried to grab her sword but stood too close to the unicorn's rear and paid the price. Jack couldn't hold on. The unicorns, seeing Laura's tears, made a decision. They knelt and activated a cosmic power. Laura watched in awe as Jack's wounds healed and the horn returned to the baby unicorn's head. When the unicorn parents touched hooves, Jack was miraculously revived. Just like Laura, he felt the rush of flying through the stars. A giant sphere appeared, followed by an explosion. Jack and Laura embraced, while the unicorns joyfully ran back to the forest. Later, Jack and Laura couldn't explain anything, so they were handcuffed and placed in a police car. On the way to the station, the police noticed something chasing them. It was the unicorns. The chef saw them, quickly closed the windows, and waved. Jack and Laura looked out, their eyes filled with joy. As they locked eyes with the unicorns, they somehow understood their message. They fastened their seatbelts just in time. The unicorns crashed into the police car, rescuing them in a burst of violent freedom.